So much is happening right now. So recap of the last day, 2 days. All that was removed, as well as the back of the boat and all of the other sides. Hi, I'm Ben.
And I'm MP. We love the ocean, so we decided to make it our home by buying a massive wooden schooner, which is unfortunately sinking.
A lot of people believe our boat is doomed, but we refuse to settle on that thought, and we are willing to do whatever it takes to bring it back to its former glory.
Join us on this refurbishing journey and wish us luck. Zeca is evaluating every single frame. From the back he started, now he's here already. Each one of them chiseling, hammering to see if they're healthy or not. Most of them are not, we know that already, but there are some that can be saved, or at least a piece. Then he puts a B from good, which is half good.
B stands for good.
Yeah, in Portuguese.
Ademir, o lado Ademir. Eu não gravo bombard ballast, eu não gravo bombard ballast. Aí é só Dex e Ademir.
So what happened here with our carpenter, Zeca, who is actually an artist. Here he does all the writings, the scribbles about the shapes he's creating. So this is the shape of which frame? F1. Front, the first one. Then here, 5 centimeters up, because the frame was not long enough, but he measured and here were 5 centimeters more. Then there's also this drawing, that means he continued here. And also proa, which means bow in Portuguese, and Ademir is the name of the shipyard that's on that side. If it was the other side, it would be Sodex. We don't use starboard or port here, so it's Ademir and Sodex. So this is the very first shape he creates while on the boat. Then he passes this onto a new plywood that will be even more like correct. And then from this second plywood it goes to the official piece of wood that will become the frame.
Like this.
Yeah. But this is not thick enough, that's not good. Yeah.
Obrigado, minha amiga. Oito. Faltou 8 aqui, mas só pra ir lá então eu tiro 8 lá. 8. Aí ele... daí esse ângulo aqui, ó.
So what we're also doing here is lots of frames need to be replaced completely, and that's what's being measured now. Lots of these frames are actually very similar in size, so this is actually the same one from there, the same mold, stencil, plywood. However, there is going to be a bit more added down at the bottom, and that's what's being measured and cut by Zeca right now. This side is starboard F1. We've taken this plywood, stuck it onto F2, attached 2 more pieces of plywood to it, which will actually lengthen the F1. Now we can use the F1 plus the 2 pieces of plywood added to the F1 to make F2. Boat's looking better every day. Today the last planks, or some of the last planks, are being taken off so we can start working on the ribs, which is very cool, which just means cutting them with the chainsaw, yanking them off with wedges, hammers, crowbars, whatnot, then removing the bolts and screws, cutting off the nails and leaving the ribs completely exposed like this. I'm going to remove these bottom ones still so we can start looking at the ribs. You think we can save this? It's a bit wrecked. Here we go. The whole back has been taken off. There's just one line remaining. That's just to keep, just to know where the rest of the planks have to go, but that will be removed. We're almost all the way to the front. He will remove that with a chainsaw, brand new, because we were cutting so much wood that the previous one broke many times and it wasn't worth repairing anymore. So he's gonna chop up the front and then we can start working on the ribs. So Hélio is making sure that all our planks can make the turn around the boat, because if there's one rib sticking out, it's gonna have to make a very sharp corner, and the plank, when it's bent that much, or the screw will be pulled out, or the plank will snap, or just have less structure in general. So we're making sure the ribs are all nicely aligned, that one's not sticking out more than the other, so the planks can get nailed, screwed on.
Here we are again at our usual place, the engine room, and we're still fighting against the support of the engine. We're struggling a bit to remove it. I bet you're already familiar with the rule of the bolts. If you have 10 bolts, 9 will come off easily and the 10th will be difficult. If you have 2, the second one will be difficult. If you have 3, which is my case, the third one will be impossible. So here we are, still fighting against this last bolt. And from here, from the top, I already screw it down, so we just have this little piece remaining. The battery died on me, so I don't know where I stopped talking. So let's see if I can explain now. I have this little piece here. Ben is under me trying to get this bolt removed so we can finally remove the engine support. How is that going, Ben?
Good. It's tough.
It's turning. Yeah.
Nice.
I think that's enough. Yeah.
Huh?
That's enough. So we managed to take it out. I should be wearing gloves because it's really dirty and rusty. Now we have the right angles to work on it. We will chisel the rust away. We will also sand it down and paint it so it's nice and ready to support our engine again.
Better?
Yeah. Okay, so we finished here on this side finally. Support removed, wood on place, holding the engine so it doesn't shake while the guys are breaking our boat. And now we're going to the other side. So yeah, we're not that done yet, but half is done. Here we are at the other side of the engine. The support's still here, but we're gonna change that now.
So there is a super old screw in here, rusted on, and I'm not even sure if we can get this off. This guy. And
So I'm going to start with this middle one that seems quite simple, and then we're going for the next one, which is more complicated. So starting with the simple one, pull it from here.
It's not gonna work.
Can I try?
Sliding. Actually, this one quickly. It's under it. Just that.
So we lost the battle against that screw, so we're going to angle grind it off. We're gonna cut it off. And I'm quite a chicken when it comes to cutting metal. I find it scary, all the sparkles are a bit scary. So Ben's gonna do it, but I'm gonna watch him. So that's why I'm wearing my protective goggles. We're gonna win this. Yeah, you.
Finally got this massive old rusty bolt off, but it doesn't look like it's going to move anything. But at least now we have access to these 4 bolts, which will let this come off, which will give us access to removing this support. And then we just need to undo the alternator support, and then this can come off. So not only are we taking that down to give it a paint, to sand and everything else, but under it, it was collecting lots and lots of fresh water. So it's just gotten really, really bad.
It looks nice, but it doesn't work because it makes everything rotten. So we'll see what we'll do now.
That sign traps water in between the boat itself and the sign. So we're gonna paint or whatever, something else to put the name on. It was a nice idea, but long term it's not so good.
This frame here is so humid that look.
Achou, Hélio? Não. Tá dando já? Hã? Não tá dando?
Whoa.
Pretty, né?
It's very pretty. Thank you. sometimes we don't even need power tools to take this boat apart. And that's not a good thing. So with a wooden boat, frequent maintenance is super important to prevent anything like this from happening. Here. So what's been done, whenever there was a hole on this boat, it was just glued shut. So this isn't a real fix, so that caused lots of water to run down the ribs and has caused the damage that this boat has. So we're going to do it properly now and keep maintaining it properly so this doesn't happen again. Over here in the bow we have been given very easy access to a storage area, which is quite nice, which means getting in and out of here has gotten so much easier. We have left one plank in there because that is holding some of the structure. So even though the ribs are gone, this plank, which is one piece, goes all the way down to 3 ribs further than here, is actually helping holding this together. So over here, multiple ribs were cut away, which is going to have an impact on the structure of the boat, hence why this pole is here to help hold that up. And that's why that's also been put there, just the structure. One thing that is getting in the way of doing some proper work on the ribs is all the concrete ballast we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that's only the ones we can see, so they are going to be removed first. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 and so on. These are going to be removed first so that the work on the ribs can happen better, and also these concrete ballast blocks are putting more stress on the ribs once they're cut, so better to have them without, and later we can add them again. Okay, so
the other day Ben asked me to undo the shelves calmly because I was really not doing much, but instead I chose to focus on the engine because for me that was a priority. But I think that was a mistake because now we have to rush to undo the shelves because they need to break the frames from here, so my bad.
And I'm not even going to take this frame apart, I'm going to leave the frame and take it out with the tank.
And then we're gonna remove the tank.
Because this exit here is huge, but it's not big enough to take this out. That one is a lot bigger. Look at all the space you have in P. And all the natural lighting in this room. This engine room went from being the least pleasant to the most fresh, spacious room. So here is a piece of the plywood that we used to nail under the boat. If you you want to see the structure, the only damage after a trip is the damage that is made when we try to remove the plank from the boat. All the rest is super duper intact. As you can see, not a single crack, and it's super solid as well. And the problem with these shipworm and ship whatever they are, they don't die very quickly, and when they die they attract maggots.
Aí, bem, pode mexer aí, bem. Segura aí que ele vai mexer aqui pra escorregar aí, hein.
Olha de pé.
Vai, bem, tacando pau.
Slowly.
Você tá aí no mar, chega e larga. Cima da tábua, dando que a tábua lá, testa do plástico. Vai devagarzinho isso, vai devagarzinho pra nós jogar lá pra fora lá, ó. Aí, bem.
É só 100 metros. Acabou.
Olha, eu tava cuidando ali, ó.
Mas essa última puxada foi... Eu também tava olhando, eu ia avisar. Não deu nem tempo.
Não. Eu puxando aqui cuidando da ponta, né?
Não.
Demorou a ponta, vem.
So what you just witnessed it now. So what you just Ben! Witnessed it? So what you just witnessed. So what you just witnessed now was the first time we anchored Yabá. It was the first time we actually threw the anchor somewhere. And yeah, this was our first anchorage.
So just before you leave, a massive thank you to all our patrons, and here are PayPal donations. Thank you so much, Gambiaha.
Thank you, Roni.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you, Gon.
Thanks, Frans.
Thank you, Stumpy.
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you, John.
Trevor and Rose, thank you.
Thank you, Torben.
And Harry, thank you.
Thank you so much, guys.
See you next week.